Hi, welcome to Don't Gramatize. I'm Konrad and this is the very first video of my channel. For that very reason, what I'll be talking about today and how I'll be presenting it will most likely be of such poor quality that I highly recommend stopping to watch the video at this very point. But if for some reason you do decide to continue watching, know that today I'm going to talk about questions. To be more specific, object and subject questions. To be even more specific, who and what object and subject questions. So I prepared a two-column table. As you can see, we have object questions on its left side and subject questions on the right. I decided to divide the lesson into two videos. This part will focus on object questions, while in part 2 we will talk about subject questions. So let's start with the more common questions, that is, object questions. The first sentence says, Konrad will help you understand English better. Imagine being on the phone with a friend who has just watched a Don't Gramatize video and is calling you to say that it's a really cool way of improving your English. Unfortunately, the friend loses reception for an instant. We've all been there, right? And you do not hear this part. You obviously want to know what the missing fragment is, how to ask about it. Well, first, you have to know that what you haven't heard in your friend's sentence is an object. An object? What's that, Konrad? Well, the object is defined as the thing or person that the action is done to, or the one who receives the action. The thing or the person that the action is done to, or the one who receives the action. So, for example, in I ate an apple, the apple is the object, while in I bought Carrie's newest sneakers, Carrie's newest sneakers are the object. We now know what the object is. The next step is to find it. How? Well, what you have to do is look for the verb, because the object will generally stand right after it, or they, objects, can also be found after prepositions. Prepositions being those sneaky little words such as on, for, or at. Speaking of prepositions, do you sometimes struggle deciding on which one to use? If so, which one or ones, and in what contexts? Let me know in the comment section and maybe we'll make it the topic of one of our next lessons. But let's go back to our sentence. The friend used two verbs. Verb 1, verb 2, object 1, object 2. The first object we know, but what about this one, the one we haven't heard, the one we misheard? To ask about it, we have to decide on the WH question word that matches English. Is it maybe who, like in who will know where my vintage sunglasses are? English? No, it's not. Or maybe it's when, like in when are you flying to Hawaii? English. No. The right answer is, of course, what. Understand what? English. Once we pinpoint the object and determine what WH pronoun it answers to, we can start building the question. We place what at the beginning, and then we have to use inversion, which means we have to reverse the subject and the auxiliary like this. And then we just copy the rest. And voila! A what object question ready. So let's move on to the next example. Here the object is very long and it is an object of a preposition for, not a verb. To ask about it, we once again have to decide on the WH pronoun it answers to. This channel is for, what do you think? Yeah, you're right, it is who. We place the who at the beginning, then again the subject and the auxiliary swap places, and remember, the preposition is at the end of the sentence, okay? By the way, the topic of prepositions and questions is such an important and interesting one that I'm sure one of the future videos will be exclusively devoted to it, while today we're just gonna touch on it like Captain Sully did on the Hudson River in 2009. The last two examples of this column are object questions as well, but they are slightly more difficult to form. Why? Well, because they are in past and present simple tenses in which there is no auxiliary in positive sentences, so we have to come up with it and add it in questions. So, Adele gave yet another unforgettable performance. We have gave, which is the past simple form of the verb give. We have to determine the object because, again, we don't know it, we haven't heard it, we misheard it. We decide on the WH question word. Adele gave what? What goes here? Then the auxiliary, then the subject, then we need the base verb form give. Not gave, because did, which is a past simple form itself of do, has taken over the task of showing the listener, listeners, or reader, readers that we are in the past. In this bottom sentence, the verb is here, it has its object, which is known to us, but then, like in this example, we have a preposition for whose object is a mystery to us. We don't know it, we haven't heard it, we misheard it. We decide on the WH question word that matches people over the world, which is who, and then from the inside of our heads, we quickly transfer one of the many auxiliary do's, waiting anxiously to finally be in the spotlight. Here, that is before the subject, and then we just copy the rest, remembering that the preposition is at the end of the question. Okay, so that's it. We have covered the entire object questions column. Let's sum up. Object questions ask about the object of a verb or preposition. They very often start with who or what, but not always. In past and present simple tenses, we have to come up with and add the auxiliary did, do, does. We have to reverse the subject and the auxiliary like we did here and here. In questions about the object of a preposition, like here and here, the preposition is at the end of the question. Okay, so that's the end of part 1. I'll soon be waiting for you in part 2, so don't make me wait too long. See you there. Bye-bye.